remember flipping the light on, and I see this creature, and I knew in my heart, I knew in my mind, in the whole mind, this isn't a man.
And then this thing walks across the road, takes a turn towards us, and then leaps over a guardrail.
Went to look forward, and there was a big black thing, is all I can call it.
Welcome to Squatch-D TV, exploring the Bigfoot mystery each week with your hosts, veteran researcher, author, and TV personality, the Squatch detective, Steve Kulls, and from the Bigfoot Research Project of Kentucky, Chris Bennett. Sit back and buckle up as we bring you guests from around North America discussing the Bigfoot phenomena, but not without a few laughs too. Here are your hosts, Steve and Chris.
And good evening, cyberspace. Welcome to Squatch-D TV for today's date, January 10th, 2021. I'm your host, your guide, the Squatch detective, Steve Kulls, along with, well, my compadre downstairs, Mr. Chris Bennett. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Mr. Steve. How are you today, sir?
I am wonderful.
Good.
But before we do anything tonight, he made mention of it, but I wished him, Mr. Walt hits his happy 5-0, and you know we are blessed to have him with us.
Happy birthday, Walt!
Happy birthday to you, Walt. So anyway, let's do the quick roll call. Of course, B, our most avid fan there.
Hi, B.
10 minutes to go in the showroom. She was actually here 12 minutes to go. Mr. Cam Young, hello, Cam. Good to see you, my brother. John, good seeing you.
See you, Cam.
Another new
John.
Frank's there across the pond.
Frank.
Frank. Lance, welcome. I don't think we've seen you here before.
Hey,
but if we first time in the chat room, hello, welcome, and make yourself at home. Pull a chair up. Have a good night. We're going to have some very interesting conversation, a little more offbeat than most other Bigfoot. Of course, we have Charlie Wonton is in the house. Hello, Charlie. Hello there. Diane, good to see you.
Diane.
And hey, we got Low Rider in the house.
Oh, cool.
John, good seeing you. That handsome fish he's got. We got Terry. Good.
Terry.
Our buddy. Oh, really? Hello, Ron. Good to see you. And I am in Chris. Hey, the greetings, mortals. Hello.
Hello, Chris. Welcome.
Glad to all see you here tonight. And we got an interesting topic. But how's the weather been with you, Chris? Okay.
Well, yeah, man, it's been really nice. It's a little chilly, but light jacket, nothing. Everything's fine.
Oh well, right now it is it is right now. I think it's it's a balmy 18 degrees here.
Oh, my watchdog.
And the dogs are amok.
Sorry.
No apologies necessary.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna bribe them with some treats. I'll be right back.
So anyway, yeah, while Chris bribes the animals with treats, I hope everybody's had a great week. As people know, I've got a couple of herniated discs. I'm still dealing with it. I wasn't even sure we were going to kick off a show today because it was really cranking on me today. But what I find myself doing is the more I move, the better I feel. So here I am, and awaiting the treat feeding of Chris's little Yorkies. And Yorkies are great dogs. They're just loud. And well, let's do a couple other things too. Jimmy Trick wishes Walt the good. Having a little bit of a issue with the board all of a sudden. A delay.
Yeah.
And like right now, I got thanks. That's not what I clicked on.
Oh,
Ted, good to see you.
Hi, Ted.
And I don't know what happened. The board gets a little glitchy now. I notice with the there seems to be a delay once in a while. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but at least StreamYard just with another company today, and of course StreamYard is our provider here. And according to the folks at StreamYard, the good folks at StreamYard, they say everything is going to pretty much. They joined a video conference company called, I believe, Hot Point or Hot. I got to look at this more carefully. And I apologize for not being as prepared. Like I said, I was hitting some.
I should have had the bag of dog treats here by my side, but I didn't think about it because they've been so well behaved today.
Yeah. So, folks, just so you know, we got a message from StreamYard today. It said we have some exciting news. StreamYard has officially joined the leading virtual element platform, Hopin. Dan and I, that's the owners of StreamYard, always said that we're in it for the long haul and nothing has changed there. We will run StreamYard as a separate brand, laser focused on serving you. What they say is they're going to have resources, more resources to move faster.
Yeah, good.
What they're going to eventually do is, we have this wonderful platform, and just recently they added, so the reason why you're only seeing two screens instead of a Squatch-D TV screen, and we got to say hello to Ed. Good to see you.
Ed, welcome.
And of course, now it doesn't want to hide. Come on. There we go. And what I've noticed is that, we've gone to only two screens instead of three. I don't have to run this show with a second computer anymore. They've added some video stuff to it that I can put my intros and outros, and they're small. What they are going to do for the future is they're going to also involve a platform. You can actually just put your videos up any size. So if we want to show a half-hour video clip, we can do that and analyze it. Because they're very receptive to writing, is to have the ability to pause and to unmute your stuff here. So
I think my end is locking up, Steve. So I'm just, you're in and out for me.
Yeah. So there is some issues with Chris's side of the show tonight, but Chris, do you have me yet?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like you're getting a little internet burp down your way. That's causing me to freeze up. If anybody is experiencing freeze ups on the YouTube side or the Facebook side, just throw a comment out there. We'll see them.
Yeah.
So I'm in and out there too. I'm not, well, that could be because I'm moving. I don't know what's going on. Apparently this is not an issue with my computer or my bandwidth. I believe it's maybe the StreamYard issue.
Yeah.
So I will run some diagnostics later on my computer just to verify that, but I don't see any reason why I'm actually hardwired my computer. So I don't see where there would be any issues there in particular, but I digress. So I don't know.
Well, it's not fun if we don't get to talk about technical glitches.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea why things are streaming in and out, especially since we're only using one computer now. Yeah, they're even having sound issues. Flip.
Yeah, Shane's got it. The elephant in the room is creating some blockage.
Yeah, there seems to be. All right, so let me just pop over here. Oh, I don't want to do that. Hang on. I'm going to go over to the Facebook community and go, oh, come on, where is it? We'll take care of this real quick. Give me 1 second, people. I appreciate your patience on this. Okay, so StreamYard page. Okay, there we go. So now
Steven Stroford.
I haven't.
We're looking for one, Steve.
What's that?
I was talking to the Bigfoot Books man here, the Bigfoot Books guy, Steven Stroford. Anyone seen an elephant around here? We're looking for one. Terry Shield, I think. It's all freezing up. Yeah, well, I think they're having some issues with StreamYard tonight. I believe that's what it is. Because the internet seems to be working good on this end, and it's working good for Steve too. So I don't know. Yeah, Walt says the Men in Black. Probably is Walt. Oh, the chat room is hopping. I can barely keep up with you guys. Jamie Nightingale said the internet is so busy with all the lockdowns. That's true. I'll bet you the bandwidth is like increased tenfold since everybody had to stay home. I know that's what I do. Get on the internet, and shopping online. Everybody's shopping online.
So I just put a comment into this. At the same time, the people who run StreamYard are having their own podcasts, which probably is the reason why. There's a little thing, because I bet you dollars to donuts with the announcement they put out today being acquired by Hopin.
Yeah,
I bet you a lot of people, every StreamYard host except us, because we're here, is probably over there going, "What the F?" Because no lie. I mean, I agree to what they, I understand what they said to us, but you always have that gut feeling. Okay, what's coming?
Yeah.
You always have that feeling.
But that's the way it goes, though. You have a new tech company starts out, and then they get acquired by a bigger tech company, and everybody gets lots of money in their pocket, and it's great,
Yeah.
If everything works okay.
Yep.
If everything stops working okay, it's maybe not so great. Yeah.
No.
These technical difficulties kind of have you pining for the days of Blog Talk Radio. Yeah.
No.
Still love this format. This is great, man.
So people are wondering, what the hell is the elephant in the room? And so okay, there we go. Okay, we just had a I'm just looking to see if there's any comments in my StreamYard post, but what they may have done is they may have gone on the thing. So maybe that'll fix the issue. I don't know.
I hope so.
Yeah, because sometimes they may say, "Okay, let's switch him into another." It was that. Hopefully. But anyway, people were asking me.
Yeah, Walt, it's freezing up here too. I was wondering if Steve was just freezing on my screen, but I can hear a few words, Steven, and you'll freeze up and it stops, and then a few seconds later it pops back up. I hate that.
Yep. So it seems to be a YouTube problem as well. I don't see anybody from Facebook commenting, hey, we're having problems too. Facebook, any other Facebook people out there having?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Walt does too. So
Walt.
it's got to be a StreamYard issue then. Okay. Yeah, it seems okay now, Cam. So hopefully they're working on it. But anyway, the elephants in the room. There's a lot of elephants in the room, and there's a lot of podcasts out there. And there's a lot of shows and there's a lot of people that present evidence. And every once in a while, you come across a piece of background on a particular person that, as a person, I have to be doing what I do. I have to be the arbiter of whether or not to put that piece of information out there. And I'll give you a couple of examples. Last year, we had the Bigfoot peeper. And it turned out that the Bigfoot peeper actually was a sex offender, and he had an arrest record for child molestation. It does not have anything to do with the hoax. But what it has to do is the safety of the community. In that particular case, because his arrest was for child molestation.
Yeah.
And there was a time where he actually worked. Years later, after his conviction, he moved to Colorado, and he worked as a Santa's helper.
Oh man.
And it shut the whole thing down for the day because of that.
Yeah.
So to me, that information, it has to be out there, because what's next with this guy? Is he going to say, oh, I'll take you guys out there? Or, you just don't know where that's going to turn. But I felt that was pertinent information, that here we have this guy, and I understand now psychologically, to me, it wasn't all about safety, but about perhaps some motive. You're a sex offender. You're going to be ostracized by a lot of people, especially people that knew what you did. And it wasn't like, a consensual thing. This was molestation.
Yeah.
So so you got to look at that from that aspect of, do you put that out there? Well, in my instance, yes, because now it's about protection of people.
Yeah.
It has to be known, because this guy was purposely not using his first name, using his middle name and his last name to put this stuff out there.
Yeah.
Thus concealing who he was.
Yeah.
So, Mick, unfortunately, I have a very clean connection. I actually have a 400 megabyte internet connection that's hardwired to this computer. It's not even on Wi-Fi. So I don't think it's my actions coming from this computer. I think it's the interlink between StreamYard to the services like YouTube and Facebook. I think that's what's going on. It's because I can see Chris fine back and forth, even when he says he can't see me. To me, that's a StreamYard outgoing issue. I'm not having an issue. I'm not locking up here. I can see the chat. I can hear Chris even when he says, "Hey, you're locked up." He's not locking up on me. So to me, that's not a connectivity issue.
That's a stream issue. Yeah,
that's a stream issue. So that was very important that I put that information next. And I haven't mentioned this on the show before, but it's been on my Facebook page. It was up for a couple of weeks, and I took it down. But there was the whole incident with DDoS from the Bigfoot Dogman Research Project. Back, I think, when was this? Beginning of the end of November, maybe even the beginning of November. Mr. Doss had been arrested for, or had been in trouble for domestic violence. Somebody had gotten on his YouTube page. I believe it's the family that was involved, his girlfriend, and posted a couple of videos. One appeared to be showing being pushed down on a bed, and D screaming at her using profanity, and kids are there. Kids.
Yeah.
Then we find out that Mr. Doss has had a a domestic battery issue going back for 7 years. You know, okay, yeah. My understanding is, I don't care what Ken Walker says, it's not real. Proven, not real. The guy never owned the property he said he owned. He does not own property. He rents this little place in the middle of a neighborhood. He does not own any property. Check the records. No. So, and exactly who is Ken Walker?
I don't know.
Oh, my friend Freddie says it's real. Well, then it's got to be real.
We went through the whole peeper thing. I don't know what episode it was, but it
yeah. Look at the peeper episode. We even tracked the lights in the back of the picture from where he currently lives.
Yeah.
So and it's no big secret. And if you think of the story was stupid. He's sitting there looking at this thing for 8 minutes. Then his wife walks in the room. Well, geez, if you see something looking in the window, the first thing you would be doing is saying, "Hey, honey, look at this." Then after filming it for allegedly 10 minutes, he puts the camera down and then pulls his gun out because why? And his wife runs out of the room screaming and calls the sheriff's department. Well, he never claims what sheriff's department was called. Why? Because he doesn't know what county that property's in. I don't think.
Well, one thing's for certain, my wife would probably come in the room, but she would run in there to find out why I was shooting through the window.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Then
not in a Bigfoot, but anybody peeping in my window, fair warning.
Here's the other thing too. He says, now mind you, I've already searched the records. He doesn't own any property like he says he does in the county he says he does.
Yeah, well.
So then he shoots. He doesn't shoot. I'm sorry. He puts the camera down, pulls the gun out, and that was the end of the thing. Whatever.
Yeah, Walt said, grab the shotgun first, call cops second.
So here's the other interesting thing. Okay, so now we have this ridiculous story. Why didn't you pull the gun in the first place? Well, you're gonna.
Yeah.
About your safety? What?
Yeah.
What? So then the video gets lost in a fire at his mother's house. Well, that's the funny thing is his family is from Indiana, not from Colorado. That's where the molestation charges occurred, was in Indiana. And then he moved out of Dodge.
Proving the old adage, you can run, but you can't hide.
Right. So you have all this stuff that says, okay, he doesn't own property where he says. He doesn't live where he says he lives. You have this crazy, not matching any psychologically correct type of reactions. And those are the kind of things that over time, and we had, in fact, when we did the Bigfoot Peeper, we had Ben Radford on. Remember Ben Radford was on that?
Yeah.
And he was kind of amazed that, I looked at it from a psychology point of view.
Yeah.
Like the person that sees a Bigfoot in the woods with the kid and they're like, oh, look, there's a Bigfoot. Oh, look, see? And the little kid's like, yeah, look at the Bigfoot. Fake. Do you know why? Because if you see a giant creature you've never seen before, the first thing you're going to do is worry about protecting that child.
Yeah.
You see a bear, oh, we're going to protect the child. You see a mountain lion, you're going to protect the child. Then you see something bigger than a bear, bigger than a mountain lion, and you're going to sit there and point and go, oh my God. No, it doesn't work that way.
Oh, look, it's a Bigfoot. Yeah, so, right.
Just from a psychological aspect, put people in the right frame of mind to watch these videos. And then you shouldn't get like a 5-second clip of a video. You should get before, after, kind of like what you got in the film, kind of what you got in the Freeman footage. You get the before and after. I'm not saying they're correct either, but at least they're more compelling and easier to and more to go, this is very interesting. Because you're only going to take a 5-second video of a Bigfoot. You're not going to go afterwards like, hey, hell, that Bigfoot's there. My phone's going to be going on until I'm pretty sure it's out of the area. So,
yeah, and it's like whether it's the first time or the second or third time you've seen a Bigfoot, it's like wide eyes, deer in the headlights. Oh, there it is. It's not like, oh, look at the Bigfoot. Isn't he cute? No.
Camera right next to my. There we go. Another little clip. There's my. I have my camera sitting right next to me on my. That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
That whole thing was a farce. And after he got exposed, he kind of disappeared off the face of the map. Of course.
Yeah.
He got outed. Hey.
Oh, we got another co-host.
And that is correct. So you have that whole mystique there. And really his criminal charges were not necessarily part of the narrative per se, but it was put out there for protection and for as a possible motive, because when a person feels by themselves, he's looking to make himself something in the community for his ego, for so you got to kind of look at that. The whole DDoS thing was put out there because, again, he's a podcaster claiming to be one thing and a very religious and righteous man. And we find out that that's farthest from the truth. People go through, pardon my French, people go through shit. People go through bankruptcies, divorces, lawsuits, stuff like that. I don't think that's pertinent necessarily information that goes out there. I mean, I've been there. I've been through. And, hey, I'll give you full disclosure. I filed bankruptcy in 1997 because I gotten divorced and I had a big credit load on me. And there I am now having to pay child support for 3 children and trying to find my way out of my house. So, yeah, I had to make some moves, which financially made the right choice for me at the particular time. And
these things happen, especially during a breakup of a marriage. That's normal. But
and the last time I was married, I got hit with a few lawsuits over that one too. And guess what, Chris? I won every one.
Well, that's good. Yeah. It's not really fair. You got 2 people who compile debts, and then one of them try to get out scot-free. No.
I'm not even saying that was the case.
Yeah.
I mean, I took the debt load on that. Could I have made a big thing of it? Yeah, sure. Well, this was and this was spent on this and this one. But no, I took the debt load. I manned up. And that's who I am. I'm, okay, whatever. I'm going to man up. So, yeah, I took the debt. No ill feelings towards that. In fact, my ex and I get along very well. My first wife, the mother of my children, we get along very well. So.
Yes, that works out sometimes.
It does.
You can be best of friends, but you just can't live under the same roof, and that's a fact,
So anyway, moving forward, there is a couple of shows, and now I'm going to get into the more Bigfoot stuff. There's a show out there, a podcast that is called Pac Northwest Bigfoot. And it's run by a guy by the name of David Boozer. Nice, seems like a nice guy. OT in the house.
Welcome, OT.
And also Mr. Rod's in the house as well.
Rod.
Hello, Quickwitty. So we have all these different things, but now we're talking about Pac West. It's run by David Boozer, and I had done a video. Up, Sean's in here too. Hello, Sean. Good to see you,
Ted, and hi, Sean.
And of course Mick with the meatloaf.
Infamous meatloaf.
So we have this Pac now. So I posted a video saying, hey, folks, in case people are wondering, Pac West North Bigfoot, and I've seen it quoted, it's not authentic. He even admits, here's the clip of him admitting that. Well, doesn't Mr. Boozer file a copyright claim on me, even though I'm using it under fair use, which I could have fought it. So I just took it down, whatever. But you can't stop free speech, and this is what this is. So we have a show like Pac-Man where it may be cool. It's for entertainment purposes, really cool. Then you have a show like the Sasquatch Chronicles, and people are going to go, "Oh, he's going to go after Sasquatch Chronicles." Well, yeah, there was a little history with me and Sasquatch Chronicles. Why am I seeing so many Yeti? I have no idea. And I'll tell you why. Because people around the country have a shared interest in what the Yeti is.
Yep. I'll watch him.
Yeah. So anyway, and this all goes back to where Wes wanted me on a show, but we never made it happen. And then there was the question about him and his brother Woody Pratt, his sighting. There is some very interesting stuff going on there. I get approached by some members of the Mid-America Bigfoot Research Association crew there, the MABRC, and they said, "Hey, listen, we need to tell you about this guy named what the hell was his name? Barnett? No, not Barnett. Shit." I hate when I have a brand because I got so many things going through my head. But anyway, this guy was taking people for money.
Oh.
And what happened was he set these expeditions up, charged everybody, I think $1,000 a piece.
Whoa. Wow.
And he got the money, but then he got busted on his last expedition by the National Park Service because he was taking him into the national park.
Oh, that's handy.
You can't do that. You can't charge money for people and take them into the national park. It's a big no-no. You have to be licensed to do that. So anyway, he ended up not returning the money to people.
Mm.
And
don't like that.
I'm just trying to find this guy's name, and I can't for the life of me right now. And of course,
yeah, me too, Steve. I know who you're talking about, but trying to think of his name, and it's gone. It's not there.
Yeah, it's not at all. But he used to have this guy in as a co-host of his show all the time, and he used to promote these expeditions on his show all the time. And I had a conversation with him, and then MoMA Show came out with this, audio that this guy had been showing his people.
Yeah.
And letting the actually that this is a Bigfoot growl. That's it. Thank you, Pat. Bob Garrett.
Oh yeah.
Bob Garrett. Yeah,
that's
why I said Barrett because
everybody. Yeah. Bob Garrett.
Bob Garrett.
Yep.
So he had actually playing this recording in front of these expeditioners, including it wasn't only Mo that was telling me this, there was another person that was telling me this as well. It turns out it's a recording off of YouTube. You can actually hear a fan in the background that is being recorded. Pick up these little details, and there was a fan in the background.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, some people do these paid expeditions, and that's okay for them if they want to do that. I'm not going to knock them. I don't do that. I wouldn't do that. Steve wouldn't do that because it could be perceived that you're trying to make money from Bigfooting, and we don't want to be perceived as that at all.
Speaking of Bigfoot,
yeah.
No, and you know what? Hey, listen, you spend money out there to put things up and shows and stuff like that and research. Yeah, you're entitled to. If you want to do a paid expedition, you're entitled to do it. Just do it fair and square.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, in April 15th to the 18th, I will be going down to Kentucky with Charlie Raymond and Ron Bowles. Where I'll be speaking and Ron Bowles will be speaking. on an expedition down in Kentucky. So that's going to be a fun time. And there's quite a spirited discussion going on YouTube right now. We will get to that. Hang on. Hold that thought. Well.
Oh, I see that one. Yeah.
Well, truthfully, he did get charged with it.
Yes.
He did get charged with stealing with it. He did get a charge.
Yes.
I don't know what the outcome of it was, but it was in the newspaper posted, and that's where he's referring it. So don't be quick to push Quick Witty over the cliff on that one.
Yep. Yeah. Well, there's a logical explanation at there. They're talking about the Patterson got
not returning. He
didn't return the camera he filmed Patty with.
And the other thing, Low Rider, he was supposed to return that camera back in May of '67. When was the Patterson gimbal and film shot? Almost 5.5.
Yeah. In
October of late October 67. So, that's a great deal. I'm only charging $50 to hunting a leprechaun, and everybody gets a free shillelagh stick as well. You gotta get the free shillelagh. Go bra. Anyway, but yeah. So where were we with this whole Bobcat? So I informed Wes about this, and do you think for a second that Wes would say anything on his show, would say, hey, listen? No, in fact, I believe he even had Mr. Garrett on his show after being informed of this and being informed that his audio was a hoax. And his whole thing was, and I had run up even the waveforms on that, and you could see the waveforms matched, and they matched each other perfectly. And well, I don't see it. If you don't see it, you're either blind or you're just covering your ass. And unfortunately, that's the way I feel.
Yeah.
The other thing I have an issue with the Chronicles is they have a lot of anonymous guests. Not that we don't have anonymous guests on once in a great while. But we do know their identities. And I'm sure that Wes will say, oh, I know the identities of my anonymous. But the whole thing is and Chris and I, we have been doing this. Chris, you've been on board since 2010. You're going on your 11th year of doing this. I've been doing it since 2006. So I'm going on my 15th year of doing this. And when you have a witness on a show, it's not always as well polished as it seems to sound on the Sasquatch Chronicles.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there's something about it. And I'm sure he does have some real guests on, but I think there's filler in between that. And that's what we don't do here. That's why occasionally we have shows like this or shows where we don't have a witness to say, hey, listen, tell your story.
Yeah.
Because, wow, you can find 52 Bigfoot witnesses a year, right? With these incredible encounters, these long encounters. How? That's what I have to ask myself. How? That.
Yeah.
Sometimes
we get guys on, especially like on the Blog Talk Radio, and they're really nervous. So before the show, Steve and I are talking to them. We're saying, hey guys, don't be nervous. It's just like a phone call between friends. Don't worry about it. Don't think about the other people listening, and just talk to us. And they're fine. And then all of a sudden they get on the show and they like freeze up. They're like, hey, how did you feel when you saw your Bigfoot? The Bigfoot, were you scared? And they're like, yeah. What's the first thing you saw? Bigfoot.
Yep. So yeah, and you have to sometimes you have to draw these details out of people.
Yeah, it's like pulling teeth.
Now here's the other interesting thing: who owns the Sasquatch Chronicles?
I don't know.
Uh-oh, hang on, we're getting a flash message. So I gotta check this out. I gotta see what the message is here because I know.
Well, I put mine on mute.
I can't. Well, I'm waiting to retrieve that. That's probably no. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you. That's right. Ken Walker is a Canadian taxidermist. Okay. Just saying. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. He's a Canadian taxidermist who also apparently had some dealings with Todd Standing in the past. Just saying.
Yeah, that was the whole deal where they introduced Standing to the old, what was it, Trap Trail or something?
Yep, you're right on the money, Chris. Yeah. Right on the money.
Yeah.
So the fact is, my question is does Wes Germer own the Bigfoot Chronicles? No, it's actually trademarked by a company in Texas. The guy's name who owns the company, it's Crenshaw Media, I believe, or MC Crenshaw Media or something like that. And in looking at some of the background on this, now I'm gonna.
Oh, John.
Oh, okay. So quickly, he says, I think both him and Standing are crazies. Well, yeah. So the big thank you. So when you look at who owns it, it's a company that owns this big corporation that this guy, this media mogul. Now, if you think this media mogul he's actually from Texas, that's his house.
Oh, wow.
Right. So
I like that. Yeah, love the driveway.
Yeah, got what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
So there is something definitely amiss there. And that's, to me, like the Sasquatch Chronicles is trademarked under the Crenshaw Media name. So it's not even Wes is just a face behind an LLC. And he's not even the owner of the LLC. And I'm sure he gets paid very well to do that. So we don't even know. Now, here's an interesting thing. And like I say, there's information to Wes's background that he may not want out there. And you know what? After reviewing it, I don't say it's worth putting out there. Because if there was any kind of instances of anything, it seems to be a one-off. And that's fine. That was, 5, 7. So people change, people grow up, people move forward. So always has these well-polished guests that is so popular, that has these nice polished boards. We find out there's a corporation behind it. Why? And in the background search, the very interesting thing I found out that there's no Woody Pratt listed as a brother of his. He's got a brother, but his brother's name is Germer. In fact, none of his associations come back. And this is what I can do as a private investigator. None of his associations come back to a Woody Pratt. So,
well, it could be a nickname. That's just not.
Well, I think it's an alias.
Yeah. Probably.
And that to me, if you're going to go and lead an alias, this is my brother Woody Pratt. Well, maybe his brother and his brother wants to hide his name. Okay, fine, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But put his name in quotes. Don't say this is my brother Woody. I also find it really kind of strange that their encounter, that they decided to take a drive in the woods because they were grieving a deceased relative. And the interesting thing is that me, like many others, the first place you would really grieve is let's go out and have a few drinks. I don't know. Is it possible? Yes. But we do know there was a lot of data that was collected that kind of debunked their whole sighting. That they claimed there was moonlight and it was a new moon, or they claimed, where they were. They gave coordinates, but the coordinates were off from where they actually were. At this point, and of course, they had this great, encounter where we were surrounded. Okay, maybe it happened. I wasn't there, but some of their facts that they came out about the moonlight, they were incorrect. So that's a big flag. Okay, is what it is. But those are some of the elephants in the room that people just want to, kind of skirt around. And I'm not skirt around those issues. We got to talk about them.
Yeah.
And
well, there's a debate about the Patterson-Gimlin film going on. Imagine that.
and quickly it makes sense. Too many people turn to go on Bigfoot, so it's hilarious. To agree with some of that. There's got to be value to it.
Yeah.
Provided, classes provided. You got to get something from it. And if people want to spend a few $100s to be entertained, where no harm, no foul. But if people spend $1,000 and don't get anything in return, just excuses why we're not returning the money, or they get fake stuff, well, then there's an issue.
Yeah, it's not good to, play a audio clip off YouTube for people. Have your buddy in the woods. Okay, when I come through here, start that record or start that jam box up, boom box.
And
that's pretty bad.
Oh, here. I'm gonna pull up something real quick.
John says Bigfoot Safaris has a nice ring to it. It does, doesn't it?
I mean, there are so many, and there's one in Ohio. There's one in the Pacific Northwest. They do these Bigfoot tours.
Yeah.
And these Bigfoot things. And, if you're getting something for it, fine. Who values what entertainment is? Hey, we're going on a Bigfoot safari. I mean, as long as you're not bullshitting on my guests, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's forcing these people to say here. But in a podcast, if you're going to present bogus stuff on podcast and purpose only, hey, I'm cool with that. Look at somebody, like a Sasquatch Chronicles, which may not even be Wes's fault. Think about that. Now he's thrown into this position. Now you have all the, and where they come from or how they originate, we don't know. Now you're wrong, Frank. The first rule of Bigfoot Safari is don't talk about Bigfoot Safari.
First rule, don't feed Bigfoot. Second rule, don't feed Bigfoot. That's pretty good.
So you have to, you have to weigh that with everything. I mean, it gets asinine and it gets disingenuous for some of us. You have people with dissenting opinions. That's fine. It annoys the hell out of me when you do a deep dive on something and then people try to say, well, that can't be true in like a minute. Luckily, we did a deep dive last week on the Miller doc, and that was a beautiful thing.
Yep.
That was a beautiful thing. And so far, not any people have said, hey, you're wrong. Like I said, Reba did an awesome job on that. She is man, she digs, and I like that. I dig other ways. She digs other ways. And that was way cool trying to find that all out. So, then you look at, you always look at stuff. I mean, we had Ed Smith on our show a couple of times. Ed Smith turned out to be a hoaxer and lying to this. First, it was this big team in Oklahoma, and he had strung along the MABRC for a while, and it turned out to be the Daisy in the Box saga.
Oh yeah, that's right, Daisy in the Box. Yeah,
and I remember, Darren calling me saying, "Hey, I want you to be on the." And we all sat in a conference call and said, "Listen, Ed's incommunicado with us now. Darren, you need to say this is our timetable and stick to it."
Yeah,
because it's going to force him to either come up with the truth or not, and before you know it, it all unraveled within 24 hours, which is beautiful.
Yeah,
that's what you essentially want. Kind of like the Bigfoot body hoax of 2008.
Oh, that's something. I could realize the motivation for the Georgia hoax. They thought the guys thought they were going to make some money, but what do you get out of Daisy in the Box? That
was a blatant attack on the MABRC.
That's no money involved. It was just like a revenge deal, and
I believe there was other motivations, although they were never able to prove that.
Yeah.
I bet you, and I'll tell you something. I've delved into that politics of Oklahoma bigfooting. It's a rough area. The Texas, Oklahoma, man, they get on some of those runs. Oh, hang on. They get on some of those runs that, they are very, very. They get very personal, very personal.
Yeah.
And it's like Hatfields and McCoys when they go after one another. There was a big feud. There was a guy by the name of Two Bullets or whatever his name was, and I long forgotten his name. And he was trying to claim this trail cam, or his trail cam pics were real. And then there was another guy who interdicted. And first he's with this guy, then he's with that guy, and he was playing both sides, and it's a mess. So that's why I've kind of pulled back. If somebody asks me to say, "Hey, can you expose this person for us?" They've done all. That's why I pull back at it. Hey, listen, I know you want a third party, but I'm not going to get in the middle of a potential feud.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's something that if something happens in my house, I will clean it up in my house. If something I feel is affecting the community as an entire whole, like Mr. Standing, like a Bob Garrett who is taking money from people, like Biscardi, same thing. Yeah, then I'm going to be there to call them out on that. And if anybody new comes across the wavelengths that is affecting everybody, the Miller doc was beginning to be that one. That's why, because I started seeing that pop up in places again, and I began to see people saying, "Well, there's these dead Bigfoots." And all this conspiracy theory starts to swirl on something that is so illegitimate. In fact, one of the things, I did a little bit of a review because right now I'm working on the web page for the Miller doc. I did some Thursday or last week, and I'm working on some more moving forward next week, and it'll eventually be done. Here's the very interesting thing about the Jerry Lustin Columbus Day story was created first. The Miller document was made to support the Jerry Lustin story, which we debunked 100%. And then we eventually debunked the Miller doc. And then we eventually debunked the guy after the fact, the anonymous KS. You have to look how these things are set up. Thomas Byers, knobbylivs.com, at least that was the website way back when. He had this sighting, found out that he created the website about a month before his sighting. Great. Why would you create a website, Nobby Lives, not talking about Bigfoot? Then all of a sudden, boom, I got a picture of this Bigfoot. Look, it's crossing the road. Right? Yeah. Those things are kind of easy.
He was psychic. He knew he was going to get that picture a month later.
People don't want to talk about the elephants in the room. People say, well, big deal. Todd Standing had gorilla gloves or Sasquatch gloves in the back of it. What does that mean? Well, coincidentally, he has a film where there's a Bigfoot grabbing an apple with his hand, and that's all you see. So,
Yep. How about that for a coincidence, huh?
yeah, and in quick witty, the Edwards Plateau, Texas, has been getting a lot of attention. Some people talking about cover-ups and bodies is a result of the Miller doc.
Yep.
That is how friggin' misinformation and false news spins out to become something completely a life of its own.
I heard and somebody said, two biggest liars in town.
Yeah, well, they've been collecting bodies from here, and that person is a person who believes in the Miller doc that doesn't have the current information.
Yeah.
There are, you know what, there'd be other sources to this other than Linda Newton Perry.
I'm gonna mute out for a second and bribe my pups and grab a drink. I'll be right back.
All right. Grab a ski for me. Justin Smeha. Well, that's a very interesting argument. There are researchers on both sides of that topic. There are still researchers to this day that believe he was, and there's researchers that don't. Most of the people that were close to him believe he was being truthful. And I understand that. Because, Dr. Warren Cook himself, who was taken in by Ivan Marks, and we know Ivan Marks was a long ago hoaxer trying to hoax Peter Byrne, trying to sell him that crappy film for $25,000. Bigfoot with the ears that are pointed like Mr. Spock. And Dr. Cook said that were so nice. I just don't see them doing that to me. Well, that's what con men do. So that being said, yeah.
Everybody's bribed. We're in good shape.
But here's the interesting thing. At least I will give Justin his due. That the minute his stuff came back bare, he started attacking Melba, because Melba probably have told him that it was Bigfoot. And that kind of gives me a little bit of pause to go, maybe he did. Yeah. Why would he, so something is not, there's something to it, but I'm not quite sure where or when or where that flies. I
don't know. I'm skeptical.
So Janice Carter. Thank you, John. And looking good in your picture, sir. Well, Janice Carter, I got to say this. I think there are people that want to feel so greatly to be part of a community that they will invent stories in their head to the point where they begin to believe them themselves. Do I think there was ever a Bigfoot named Fox that knocked at his door and asked for garlic, whole not crushed or whole not powdered? No, I don't believe that ever happened. If I did, I might as well check myself in with a nice jacket and a padded room. And that is just the hard ass facts about it. You have Burtsev, who's not a doctor, by the way. He has a master's, but he's not a PhD. You have Igor Burtsev, who comes over from Russia, and say at the end of it, he says, "Well, I didn't really see anything that Janice said had happened, but I believe her because she's so sincere." Again, see the commonality? That there's no evidence to back anything up, but these people are so nice that they just had to be telling way. I've met a lot of nice people that were criminals, and that they would even lie about. I'll give you a great example. I know you're stealing this stuff to sell. No, they're for my friends and family. Okay, right. Okay, but nicest person in the world. Oh, I'm sorry, I did it. I fess up. It's all good. They're just lowering the moral. When people say things like that, they're trying to lower their moral responsibility. Of course, they're going to be nice, some of these people, because you know what? I know I'm making this story up, but I'm going to be nice to them and make them have a nice experience, and all is well within my head. They justify that in their own heads. In the meantime, they're lying to them left and right. Now, if people think that, wow, that's pretty harsh. If anybody thinks that's pretty harsh, It is what it is, I guess. I mean, it's pretty harsh. I mean, like I said, these are the elephants in the room. What do you think? I think downright delusional. To the point where here's another elephant in the room that the Erickson Project actually investigated the car and actually was there, and that was part of the Erickson Project too. Was the Janice Carter farm? A lot of people don't know that. I do. Yeah. Somebody else mentioned Cat Hansen. Now, see, so we got a couple of the Queen of Stories, Cat Hansen. Absolutely. What her angle is, again, another person that just wants a field to belong to something. Cat Hansen, we know, is actually from Connecticut, not where in the Midwest where she says she is, and claim violence. Actually, one of her minions tried to say, well, don't I think Cat Hansen says, oh, Cat Hansen lies. Her life has been threatened and people are threatening violence against her for hoaxing. And I'm like, what? Show me the evidence. No evidence whatsoever. Just then her buddy Ling Paul comes over and why can't you? That's wrong. Can't we all just agree with you 100%? I'll do whatever I want to stamp it out. Let's work together and stamp out this violence. And then 2 days later, he's making a post agreeing to somebody shooting me. Yeah. In very subtle language. Well, I think they ought to be shot. Yeah, my son said the same thing. Well, I got lots of guns. And then Link Paul, they got it coming. Well, wait a minute. You just said a second ago you were going to help stamp out violence, and there you are perpetrating it. So, I have no love for Cat Hansen. I don't care what her motive is, exactly. So Tommy John has this long one and a nice mug there. The recent interview with Janice Carter made me think she's a hoaxer. She was asked a question about why Sasquatch. What's the Sasquatch term for no? And she paused for like 10 seconds and she said, nay. I would be so disappointed. Was so disappointed because you could tell she was just lying, and Sasquatch apparently dig a grave and sleep in them, according to her. Yeah, that's a bit weird.
Nay.
Nay.
Nay, thou best. Dig the grave and go sleep.
Says, oh Lordy, few shots of Jackie, and I'm ready. Quick witty. Erickson probably was just a sketchy comedy. Yeah, there was a lot of things. There was so much hope. Like I said, you had the Ketchum Project and the Erickson Project going on at the same time before they ended up merging. And then you had the Smeha incident, and you were like going, something's gonna hit. One of these three has got to be, the whole thing. And then
one thing is for certain: Adrian Erickson was pumping some money into this project, and that was a fact. And I don't know what to the tune of, but it was the kind of money that was purchasing several properties.
Erickson bought a couple of properties.
Yeah.
Paid people money to maintain their properties. That was doing with the Carter farm.
On-site researchers.
Yeah. And the sad is that I think it was a real attempt, and people get bamboozled sometimes.
Yeah.
Like the Matilda thing, oh, look what I got. Or
see, the pancake video was the first one I remember that came out of there. Wasn't it?
That was the only video that came out of there. The Matilda came from somewhere else, believe it, in Canada, if I'm correct on that one. And the other, then you got the Carter farm. So, from there it began to look like, Rod says, I believe Justin said the young one was already dead, but if you listen to his story that he told on our story, didn't he kill it? Yeah. And then his story changed again when he went to the Bigfoot bounty. So, but then again, I've been also told that that may have been done at the behest of the producers of the show to make him sound even more.
True. Yeah. And I don't know. That's an elephant in the room. Dustin Smeha. That's an elephant in the room. I don't know if I believe that.
Big story. John is here. Hey, John, good to see you, Mr.
Welcome, John.
You've already missed most of the elephants. Gotta go back to the beginning.
He said something the first time that he was interviewed was on this show, and he said something that I didn't like that struck me as completely wrong when he described what the little Bigfoot looked like in the face, and that was completely wrong. Now, is it possible he looked different there? I guess, but to me that rubbed the wrong chord. I'm sorry.
See, I always look at it from the aspect of people have different witnesses. People have the witness, people that are witnesses have different ways of describing different things.
Yeah.
And what may look like human-like to you may be looking gorilla-like to another person, that may be, orangutan-looking to other people.
Yeah.
And I know going to a crime scene where you've got like 5 different witnesses, they all have 5 different descriptions of the person.
Yeah.
Oh, he's 5'9", he was 5'11". And just the other day, I dealt with a case where somebody said the guy was 5'11". He was actually 6 foot.
Yeah.
Because when I arrested him, I'm like, whoa, holy shit.
So that's one of the things.
He said this guy was 5'11". What the hell?
I've seen these things in the face. I know what they look like. I know what their face looks like. And I'm never telling it. Well, I never tell it on the radio, on the show.
Ron. Take place at the Carter farm. Trust me on that one.
Yeah.
Trust me on that one.
Yeah, the Erickson project was in Kentucky. The Carter farms in Tennessee. That's true.
Yeah, but that's true. But
Erickson financed both of them. Yeah.
He actually financed a few of them. There was another one in Canada as well. So, yeah, Erickson was also behind the Janice Carter investigation. Do a lot of it.
That was the thing with Janice. She said they asked for garlic, and that was one of the things that we had put out.
Why is everybody avoiding the beast of Brushy Creek? Well, there are times, Quick Witty, when we have other more pressing topics to speak of. I will take a look at it eventually. Mind you, I live a life. I work 40 hours plus a week. I'm dealing with 2 herniated discs, so that doesn't make me move around very quickly, especially in the mornings when I like to get a lot of my work done. So we will.
It was up the chat a little bit. Reba Campbell said that folks who gift has said they don't eat garlic, and that reminded me, Reba, because we tried garlic cloves and they weren't touched either.
Yeah.
Well, orange juice, stuff like that. Stuff that you would think, okay.
Garlic is part of that onion family.
Mm-hmm.
So all those are very pungent and very. Think about it, as a primate. Only a few people like raw garlic. There are people that do it, but there's very few.
Yeah.
Most people I like garlic. I like garlic in my food.
Yeah.
I like it, maybe on my pizza.
Sprinkle
something to accompany something, but on its own, it can be very strong for somebody.
Yeah.
As well as very gassy, I might add.
Yeah. That was one of the things we tried. Garlic.
The same thing with an onion. You wouldn't. A lot of people just won't take an onion and bite into it.
Nope.
Wow. So.
Cabbage, oranges, apples. Try about everything. Let's see. What was OT says here? You mentioned Matilda being.
Yeah, Ron. If you want to call me after the show, I will let you know about the Erickson project and the Carter farm. I mentioned Matilda being pictured in Canada. What is the chances that to have OPSPEC for their project, some level of disinformation? I don't think anybody's. I think now you're talking about the Canadian government, not the U.S. government.
Well,
the government's trying to cover it up. I don't
The
see any.
disinformation thing OT's bringing up, I think he's talking about researchers, and researchers do that. They do that. They put out disinformation.
Oh, and Linda, I agree. I am one of those. I don't eat garlic raw. But will I put it on? Will I copiously put it on certain things like the chopped garlic? I'll put that paste on some garlic bread and yeah. But
Garlic bread.
yeah, but not many people will peel it apart and eat it. So. John has a question. The experience I've had that Sasquatch enjoys Uncrustables, more specific grape jelly Uncrustables, makes sense because
Grape jelly, yeah.
Grape jelly. Primates have two ecstasy flavor sensors, that being the salty and that being the sweet. So if you watch the show before, I always talk about the sweet and salty because think of us as what we crave a lot of time. We crave our salty snacks like salted peanuts and chips and Doritos and all this laden stuff. Why do you think we like ramen so much? Like those noodles, because that packet is like 17 times the normal daily amount of sodium you're supposed to have. That's why we like those.
Yeah.
And of course, we love our sweets. We love our candy. We love our chocolate bars. We love our sugar. We love, we put it in virtually everything. We put it in cereal. We put it in coffee. We put it, in pizza. No, we don't put sugar on pizza.
Grape jelly though. That's a really good idea. We never tried the grape. No grape jelly.
Yeah. And I would not recommend any researcher eating raw garlic before going on an expedition. That generally makes that tent noise. When somebody's.
Oh yeah. Linda says love raw garlic and it's good for you. It is good for you, Linda. Yeah. But if you can eat raw garlic, you're tougher than I am. I can't do it.
Yep. I wonder if Sasquatch would drink Diet Peach Snapple. Yeah, probably. It would probably actually. I don't know if they would drink or eat a diet product per se because it may taste a little foreign to them. Because you got to understand that the ingredients for any kind of artificial sweetener. Now I know there's a lot of concern that researchers have of keeping a Sasquatch maintaining its nice slender figure by giving it in sugared products such as a candy bar or a sugared beverage. Instead, they give it a diet beverage or a diet candy bar. Unfortunately, a taste of that sweetener, because it's all chemical, will actually go, it'll probably spit it up.
Probably would.
So
they seem to be either very picky eaters or very untrusting. And right. I think it may be a little bit of both.
Yeah, well, of course. And you would be too. You're in the woods and you come across something that's edible. I mean, even if it's a plant, you're looking at the plant going, is this a poison berry or is this? Because we all know about those burdock berries. Those things will kill you. They're strychnine. Make you very sick. And you eat a lot of them, you die. But a few of them you would not be in there. They don't taste very well either. They're very bitter. And that's the other thing too about, you got to understand that a lot of foods like hot peppers, if we think that there's a big plan and think about this as a big plan, there's a lot of food that has their own defense mechanisms. Look at hot peppers. Why do you think the seeds are so hot? Because the actual seed is what's really the heat of the pepper per se.
Yep.
And why is that? Because it prevents the birds from eating them. That way they can stay on the ground and grow another pepper plant. So you think about all these things in a plant life. Why do plants drop their leaves? Not because it gets cold out. It's their defense mechanism because of snow load. So even our plant life have their own defenses and mechanisms. So you gotta kind of think of that too in the whole spectrum of what is Bigfoot. How, if you look at the complexities of something like vegetation and then compare it to the animals and the reptiles and the birds of the world and look at their complexities. Wow. It's
pepper seeds are hot.
Yeah.
Really, really hot.
So Mick asked a question.
What would Sasquatch? What
Now-
would Sasquatch drink alcoholic beverages?
So I'm going to I'm going to give you a story from The Chimps of the Mogombe by Jane Goodall, which is one of my favorite all-time books I've read. She found that when she was, habitualizing the chimpanzees by giving them apples, she noticed they were more interested in the apples that were because they were fermented. We get a little bit of a buzz off them.
Yeah.
So getting a buzz off of things is also a primate thing. Yeah, of course they would want something. I think Bigfoot would love organic. I think they would love blueberries nonetheless. There's been plenty of reports, even in non-organic apple orchards, of seeing Bigfoot grabbing apples and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
they do love blackberries. So berries is definitely something.
Any kind of wild berry, they're on it. Absolutely.
Berries.
You got to kind of look at a number of different. Okay, OT's got another question. Just wondering if there Bigfoot species were enough to be a distinct subspecies or a separate species. A lot of people say, oh, well, and you hear these people say, well, there's actually 3 types of species of Bigfoot or 4. Kind of like the screwiness of the Miller doc. Like there's like 5 different species. Hold on a second. Wait, time. If there were more than one species, I think one of them by now would have been found. What I think, as it shows in primates, they have great dimorphism. And dimorphism means they have very different sizes, shapes, hair coloring and all that wonderful stuff. And I think, I've said this before, your typical North Korean is 5'7", your typical South Korean is 5'9". Those 2-inch difference is because of the food source present. And again, it's also very shown that a smaller animal, the larger body mass animals are generally in colder weather.
Yep.
Because they need that body mass to protect them from the elements and to provide fat for scarcities of winter. Whereas animals in warmer climates are smaller, and because they, less body mass means less area for that sun to be hitting down on and making you warm. So,
with a mixed question that tickles me, would Sasquatch drink alcoholic beverage? About the elephants getting drunk, eating the rotten fruit.
And like I said,
if Sasquatch did like alcohol beverage, they'd probably drink a wild berry cooler.
Well, here's an interesting fact that if you look at what ferments an apple per se, it's a chemical called ethol. Now, we have had a lot of Bigfoot sightings where a Sasquatch smells like musky. Mm-hmm. Well, ethol gives an odor. So it poses the interesting question. If you eat a lot of garlic or a lot of onions, you kind of sweat that garlic smell or that onion smell.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I'm wondering if some of these creatures have such a rich diet in these rotted, fermented apples that musk smell is actually the burn off of the ethol in the apple. And
sound theory, yeah.
Sound theory, yet to be proven, but sound theory. So you got to kind of look at it from that aspect. And that's the way I like to roll. I like to roll with sound theories, and it was just kind of a coincidence that ethol smelled like musk. And there's so many components to a Sasquatch smell, but one of the overbearing ones is this musky smell. So, very, very good. And of course,
and I believe the Kentucky ones would probably have a working knowledge of fermentation. I do.
Unless of course it's a dry state.
Well.
Or a dry county.
Hey, my county's dry. Well, not this one, but the other one was dry. They just only recently had a thing where you could have a beer in a restaurant. And but from the time I was a kid, all I remember, well, since Prohibition, they never went back to having.
So that's the only reason what's keeping me moving from like Tennessee and Kentucky, because they have these dry counties. Like, why?
Yeah, well, they're modernized, and the bootleggers have to make a living too, So, if you live in a dry county, you don't have to worry about the liquor store. You just go to the bootlegger. You don't have to pay taxes.
Very true. Yeah, that's just flipping weird. We just got rid of our we used to have Sunday blue laws here, and up until about like 8-9 years ago, maybe 10, I don't know.
Yeah,
the sale of alcohol on Sundays was prohibited.
Yeah, still is here, I think.
Well, okay, we got some more stuff.
Oh, chat room is hopping. I think Sasquatch would eat anything he had the chance.
Hey, better late than never.
I agree.
I expect a box of bacon, by the way.
Hey, Mike.
Mike has found the smoker, and he's been smoking his own bacon. Looks delicious.
Oh, man.
And since he had his gallbladder out, beautiful thing to have bacon.
Yeah. Really clog everything up.
Hi, Joni. Good to see you back again.
Welcome,
Happy holidays to you. Feliz Navidad. So, okay. So back on the, Cameron says, I think Sasquatch would eat anything he has the chance to. And you're probably correct with that as well, as long as it's palatable. Like, we can get hungry, but there's certain things that we would not find palatable. Like a dog has no problem eating a cat turd, right? We wouldn't eat that, right? As long as it finds palatable, I think they would have to scavenge. I think their formula for food would have to be hunting and scavenging, and a little bit of both. In fact, I think there's a lot of people that believe that there's the Bigfoot. A lot of times there'll be coyotes near Bigfoot or vice versa. And I don't think that's because they're eating the coyotes. I think the coyotes are grab and kill and the Bigfoot are grabbing them from them. Just like we've heard so many different stories of Bigfoot raiding deer locker or dragging off deer or, whatever, off a hunter. If you believe in what happened with Mike Humphrey and the siege of Honobia or Honobia, as they call it in Oklahoma, that occurred back, I believe, in the early 90s. The Sasquatch weren't intimidated by rifle fire because the rifle fire meant a deer was dropped, and that meant the dinner bell, basically. And yes, primates think that way. They're like my cat, my cat, like here's another, like, you don't think animals, when I'm going to make myself a sandwich, my dogs will be in the bedroom and I'll rip that wrapper of the sandwich bag and they know cold cuts and they come. There they are. Hi, how are you? Can we get a piece of cheese, please? Maybe half a slice. It's okay. Bologna or, salami or, pepperoni, anything. Ham. So yeah, they are there. Absolutely.
It's difficult having cats and dogs in the same house because we learned that the hard way. When we first got the pup, she jumped in the cat box and was scratching around. I thought, hey, this is great. She's gonna use the cat litter box just like the cat does, No,
she's looking for a little kitty caviar.
We found out she was fishing for something.
I like to call it kitty caviar.
And when the pup picked out what she was fishing for, my wife, her eyes got about the size of a dinner plate. She says, "Oh my God, no!" Hilarious, but dogs. You gotta hide the cat box.
So OT says, when you're hungry, anything can be eaten. Although I saw a survival show where a dude ate a bear turd. Nature's Nutri-Grain bar, according to this guy.
Oh man.
And Andrew Chris said, I'd probably resort to cannibalism before I ate bear turd. I'll just take a little. I'll just take a little off my arm. Even self cannibalism.
Terrible.
So he said, check out Dude You're Screwed, who's a bear expert from Montana.
Yeah.
And of course, Mick, who's been with us for a long time, remembers poop everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, so very, very great chat. I love the chat room. Everybody keeps it rolling.
Yeah.
Like I said, we've talked about the elephants in the room, and by all means, I always say this. If you want to hear Bigfoot stories, you want to listen to Sasquatch Chronicles, go right ahead. I don't discourage that. I encourage it. Give it, if the stories are real or not, I don't know for sure. But can we say that from necessarily anybody that doesn't have anything to back it up? I mean, it's their own experiences. And like I said, there's some doubt I have about some elements of it, but if you enjoy it, watch it. And if it gets your juices flowing, watch it or listen to it. The same thing with mountain monsters. We know it's not real, but it's a fun show to watch.
Yeah.
I also believe it's the same with that show Killing Bigfoot. With
the chat brought up a good point though about eating stuff in the wild, and that would be something that everybody needs to research. What can I eat that grows wild?
Absolutely,
it's a good idea, especially you have to get to be a expert in your area first, and then start planning out.
Tony asked, does Sasquatch eat plants? Absolutely. Why wouldn't they? They would have to. It would have to eat plants because primates are either omnivorous or herbivores. Mountain gorillas do not eat meat. They eat leaves. So you got to kind of look at it that way, and look how big they are from eating those. But where the habitats are, that plant fauna is in so much abundance.
Yeah.
But for something to be big as a Sasquatch, it would probably have to be omnivorous, kind of an opportunist as well.
Well, yeah, that's one of the things about the theories about the Sasquatch that I agree with, that they would probably have a really long gut for digestion.
Well, Mick, let me Mick make my he goes, berries are part of plants. I agree, but plants and fruit are two different things. I mean, I've known a lot of kids to eat bananas and apples, but try to give them some lettuce, no, they won't touch it. So and it's very true. They raid gardens and groves, and there's been sites I know down in lower Fruitland, down in Mexico. I believe that a lot of times they'd be seen eating corn, peeling the stalks back and eating the corn inside of it. And Tack makes a great point that most big creatures are herbivores. Absolutely. And
takes a lot of calories.
Yeah, it's all calories. And that's one of the things too. If you look at the pine plants or pine trees, their needles even have a caloric value.
Yeah,
they can be eaten for consumption, and that's why I think that sometimes they refer to the Green Mountain State Forest in
vitamins
winter months, because they need their vitamins and they need their green, and I mean, dogs will eat us. Dogs are primarily carnivorous, but they'll eat grass. They're opportunists too. They're scavengers as well. And if you think about it, dogs kind of eat like us. They'll eat our food. They'll eat their own food. They'll eat whatever. So think of it, the way a dog eats, kind of probably very similar way a Sasquatch eat. They will hunt. They will scavenge. They will eat whatever they need to make do and keep their belly full.
Yeah.
Now, bears are omnivores. Lions eat dew melons if they get them. Absolutely. In fact, there's a channel I watch. It's the Reptile Zoo down in Texas, and this guy has a great channel out there. So if anybody's looking around or I know he's on Facebook. I don't know if he's got a YouTube channel, but look around. Reptile Zoo. I forget the guy's name, but I'll have that for you guys next week if you really want it. But he had he would take his monitor, and the monitors were completely carnivorous. and the monitor actually grabbed a banana and ate the banana. And he's like, I never seen this before. So yeah, I mean, if you're scavenging, you'll eat anything. So that guy's a lot of fun. He's got a lot of OT's making to know that he's got a lot of snakes. I see him on Facebook a lot. Let me see if I can't because I was bored last night because I couldn't sleep because of the back. I'm gonna search that real quick. Although, no.
Yeah, reptiles.
Oh,
I don't get a lot with reptiles.
The name of the Facebook page is, I'm gonna slide this over here real quick, is Jay's Prehistoric Pets. And to have
snake attacks Jay. Okay, I'll have to
watch.
Oh
yeah. It's pretty interesting because what he does is he out from the snake.
Oh yeah,
and it gets a little angry because he's taking it. And so
what is that? Snake eggs?
Those are snake eggs.
Ooh.
Yeah. Look how big they are.
Yeah,
and
that's okay.
And it's amazing things you find out, like they glue them together. There's like a paste on them that glues them together. Ooh. So check out Jay's Prehistoric Pets over on Facebook. Really great. I believe he does sell some of them.
Do you like your snake eggs scrambled or over easy?
Well, it's kind of funny because he showed some of the ones that went bad because you can see they change color when they go bad. And the ones that don't ferment, they look very yolky. I don't know what it would taste like. We all go, oh,
never know.
But who thought of a chicken egg?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know,
I've eaten duck eggs before. I mean,
and they taste similar to chicken eggs. Yes.
I don't know.
Well, you had the duck egg, right?
Oh yeah, the duck egg. Yeah,
tastes similar to chicken.
Now, people who eat snakes said the snake tastes like chicken, but I don't know about their eggs. I have no idea.
So my question would be: you've eaten a duck egg. Does it taste like chicken, like a chicken egg?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So I've heard ostrich eggs are delicious too.
Yeah, heard that. Emus. Yeah.
But one ostrich egg is the equivalent.
Oh my God!
Like 25.
Can you eat a soccer ball? Yeah.
But those snake eggs are pretty big.
Yeah,
and it's amazing.
I'm surprised. Yeah,
depending on the species of snake, that was a reticulated python.
Yeah.
I've seen the boa eggs, the boa constrictor eggs. They're pretty big.
Yeah.
But then the funny thing is, he actually had a bearded dragon. He showed you the eggs. They're like this big.
Oh wow!
Tiny. It was
cool.
pretty neat. So, but anyway, Chris, I think we've discussed our topics tonight. I think it's time we check out for the show for the week. We thank you all for showing up this week.
The chat is still going. Yeah, thank everybody in the chat for joining us. We appreciate it. If you're watching us on YouTube for the first time, please hit the like, subscribe, and I just made aware there's a share. You can share that.
Yes,
on social media and stuff, and it'll create links back to the YouTube video.
Yeah, so folks that got Facebook page, you want to share this episode, please do. We implore you to do that. Do us a solid. Like, share, and subscribe if you're not subscribed. And, so we'll be back next week. I may be going under some dental surgery the week after that. So we'll all play that by ear, but we will be back definitely next week because I'm not having surgery this week at all. So, but we'll be back for episode 52 next week. We'll keep you posted as to what the show may be or what it can be. But tonight was just kind of a fun night. Talk about some of these things. Talk about, some standings of what I feel or what we, what becomes important when it doesn't. But anyway, everybody, we want you to have a great and hopefully a quiet week. It seems like every week we come on, something freaking crazy goes on, and we don't talk about that stuff here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, OT made a good point before we go. Part of the COVID-19 relief Pentagon is 180 days to have a report on UFOs. They're supposed to disclose all their UFO documents.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yep. So hopefully in 6 months we'll see that. That'll be kind of fun. So anyway, on behalf of me and Chris, we want to wish everybody here a great night. If we didn't say hello to you or get your name up on screen, we humbly apologize, but we love you all. We have the world's greatest audience. We'll catch you here next week, Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here, youtube.com/Steve Kulls, facebook.com/Steve.Kulls, and twitter.com/SquatchDet, Squatch-D. Of course, you can catch the replay on podcast on all your major platforms, including iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and Spreaker. No, not Spreaker, Stitcher. Whoops. Anyway, we all appreciate you guys. Be safe, be healthy. God bless. Keep on squatching. Catch y'all next week.
Folks, you've been watching Squatch-D TV. Join us each week, Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, for the latest on the Bigfoot mystery. As always, we thank you for being our loyal viewers and encourage all to subscribe to our YouTube page at youtube.com/Steve Kulls. As always, have a great week. Stay safe. God bless. And keep on squatching.